Ladies and gentlemen of the old world, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to this community showdown. It's going to be Khorne, led by Lord Shaftesbury, facing off against Bob that Builder and the Demons of Chaos here on Chateau de Roquefort. And of course, Bob always going to be bringing the coolest builds. He always just brings the most fun builds and somehow manages to do very, very well in our tournament scene. Now, as far as his lord, it is going to be the dreaded Exalted Bloodthirster. So, good fighter. It does, of course, do fire damage and magic damage. Magic damage is relevant in this matchup against some of the Khornate demons. And we do have a Plague Ridden, so a Nurgle caster there to bring fleshy abundance, right? Because one of the big downsides of the Exalted Bloodthirster on just a purely Khorne focus is the fact that he can't be healed, but bringing that good big old fat Nurgle love is going to be great for him. The rest of the army is going to be Exalted Plague Bearers and Festering Stooges. The only issue this army is going to have is battlefield control. It's going to have a lot of trouble contesting the side objectives, I would imagine. But in a straight-up fight, like in a pit fight there, if this was land battle, for example, certainly would be a little bit tougher to crack. Now, looking at the old horde of Khorne, it's going to be Marauders, and Chaos Warriors with Bloodwake Berserkers. Yeah, the classic. Magic damage, fire damage, basically get a hard counter those Plague Bearers. They're going to get wrecked. Although the Plague Bearers can go in guard mode and throw all three of their hand grenade volleys into the Bloodwake Berserkers and potentially actually do a ton of damage. We'll have to see. On the outside, we have Khorne. So Khorne's best doggo, such a good boy, going to be here with his magic damage and potentially able to lock down the big scaries. And we do see Valkia the Bloody. So Valkia is another great choice against the demonic factions because she does magic damage and has anti-large. So let's get this party started. We do see the Shrieking Sky Rays up in the sky here for Bob, and we will fast forward as the Khorne army is going to be advancing up in the field. A little bit of skirmishing, a little bit of poke, nothing really significant going down over here. We do see the demons call in some Chaos Furies of Khorne just to mitigate any pressure they might be facing. And Khorne also going to be calling in two Furies of their own. So who would win the Air Force fight? Probably the Demons of Chaos. With the Bloodthirster there and the Plague Ridden. Plague Ridden, of course, does have the Locus of Virulence, so he can give nearby units, including the Khorne Furies, melee attack bonus, which is quite big. But the big demon's going to be flying in, punishing these Chaos Furies for betraying him, and he's going to be getting some work done. Lord Shaftesbury definitely needs a retreat right here. Not a good fight. I mean, they will fight back a little bit, but it looks like he's going to be committing to the fight, which isn't a terrible idea. Piling in all of his Furies, attacking in against the Bloodthirster. Shrieking Sky Ray is going to be moving in as well, and the Plague Ridden is now going to be on its way over. Maybe casting a Fleshy Abundance or some sort of magic, we'll have to see. But now up in the sky, we do have a Duel of Fates. Bloodthirster are going to be dueling against Valkia. In a straight fight, the Bloodthirster probably wins. But if Valkia does have the Demon Shield ability, then she could mitigate some of that and make better connections. We do also see Khorne on the ground using their Marauder Horsemen to very good effect. But yeah, both sides are taking casualties. The Khorne Furies are trading evenly as you would expect, considering they're the exact same units. And what Khorne wants to do here is get the Khorne underneath the Plague Ridden, and then he's going to be silenced. I believe. Let's see. Yeah, right now the Plague Ridden is not able to cast any healing or use any of his goodies. So brilliant play there by Lord Shaftesbury. However, up in the sky, the Exalted Bloodthirster are able to put a beating on Valkia. Valkia using the Demon Shield. She is afflicted by the Curse of the Slug, going to be trying to escape here. And the Furies of Khorne were able to defeat the other Furies of Khorne, but the Bloodthirster and the Plague Ridden should be able to turn around and finish the job. Obviously, having the Throwing Axe support on the ground really helped the Furies of Khorne do well against the Demons of Chaos Furies. Now, let's look at the rest of the battlefield, right? Objective number 2 belongs to the Demons of Chaos, but is going to be folded as the Plague Bearers are heading over here. Now we do see Heartseekers in here, or actually, no, not Heartseekers. Yeah, just Arwar Heartseekers, okay. So they have been unbanned in most of the tournaments right now. They're still very strong, and you can see, wow, they just kill Khorne super quickly. He might have already been damaged. I wasn't really looking, so, but yeah, I mean, in theory, they're pretty good here. You can see Khorne does take away the magic damage, but their armor piercing really able to do a number on him. So interesting to see those things back on the table. So far, the value is only 500, so yeah, Khorne must have been damaged by something else before they got in, because he's much more valuable than that. Alrighty, all three objectives, though, do belong to the Blood God. We do see objective 1, 2, and 3. It makes sense. The Demons of Chaos army is incredibly small, and the Plague Bearers aren't even fighting on an objective, which is very tough. But so far, the Bloodthirster has been pretty Chad. He's been able to force back old Valkia. On the backside, we do see Skull Reapers coming in. Skull Reapers aren't used terribly often, but one of the matchups in which they're very good is against demons, because they do magic damage, have bonus versus infantry, and decent enough armor to endure against like pinks and blues and Plague Bearers and whatnot. So I like that a lot. Here on the ground, the Bloodthirster using the Deathbringer ability, and he is going to be attacking into Valkia. He does connect. Valkia does get whipped right there, sitting at 6,000 HP. Unfortunately for him, he is on fire, but he does get the Locus of Virulence from Nurgle. Look what happens when friendship happens and the gods work together. It's good times for everybody. We get to see cool lords that you don't normally see. It's just all fun, right? But yeah, Bloodthirster's whooping on Valkia pretty hard. And Plague Bearers are holding well, backed up by the Heartseekers of Slaanesh. On the other side, some Khorne Gors are called in, and the old Eternal Entourage is going to be retreating back. And yeah, there's going to be a bit of a whooping right now as those demonic cavalry are going to be getting into the back of these units. I would be so happy, by the way, if Seekers and Heartseekers are actually fair now. Oh man, this is one of my first games actually seeing them, and they don't seem too bad so far. But yeah, I really hope they are, because you don't want to have to ban things because they're just busted, right? Yeah, in this case, Halberd's able to fend those guys off. Up in the sky, we do have the Hero Corps going after Valkia. So Khorne is getting a big points lead, but there's a high likelihood that they're going to be losing Valkia here. She is afflicted by poison as well as Curse of the Slug, so she's having trouble escaping. Nurgle applying the poison, and the Khorne Demon is running away now. I'm not sure why it's running, but Fleshy Abundance is active. Maybe trying to get away from the Furies. We'll have to see. And now it's going to be moving back in, so I think that was just a miss micro there by old Bob. So Bob pressuring the point with his Seekers and Heartseekers, able to run over the Chaos Warriors of Khorne right there. And now where are they going to be going? Plenty of opportunities. Getting into the Chaos Warriors is fine. But they're still a squishy unit. And that's one of the things I've been hearing. People are like, yeah, they're still very strong, but they die very quickly. And with the mitigation they've had through their damage, they might be more fair. But again, I'll need to do more testing. But it seems like they've been okay. I haven't heard too many people complaining in the tournament so far. So all is good in the realm maybe, right? That's good. So running away here, we do see old Valkia the Bloody. She is shaken and stirred, running from the Plague Ridden, which is actually faster than her. So Nurgle showing off its speed right here. Valkia going to be at -6 leadership, and the Bloodthirster is sitting at 1200 value, having done very, very well. Valkia is afflicted by poison once again, and is Bob going to be going for the kill? He's so behind on objectives, though. It's going to be tough to get those points back. Up in the sky for the demons, it's going to be more Furies and more Heartseekers being called in. Heartseekers here, the Eternal Entourage hitting at about 1100 value, so that's good to see. Decent amount of value, but nothing obscene. And the other Heartseekers do move in, but they were taking quite a bit of damage charging into halberds. Not their favorite thing in the world. On the backside, we do see the Khorne player, Lord Shaftesbury, trying to salvage Valkia by tying up the Bloodthirster with the Furies, but this thing has enough mass and speed, mind you. 81 speed against Valkia 73. Oh man, is Valkia going to come back? Probably so. Man, yeah, a little bit of blunder there, but immediately Bob does notice it, keeps chasing, but gets caught up once again, and Valkia does come back. So that's really bad. I mean, the whole Khorne army would have had a big leadership penalty, but little plays like that can make all the difference in a game, right? Bloodthirster's chasing. Valkia's on the run. She has 73 speed. He's going to be sitting at 81. But this is also another big win for Lord Shaftesbury, right? Because he's keeping the Bloodthirster away from the main battle where he's dearly needed. But a little bit of a lapse in micro there is going to get Valkia caught. She's probably going to get routed off the battlefield as the Bloodthirster drops it like it's hot. She's sitting at 14 leadership right in here. Maybe going to be standing and fighting if Demon Shield is active, but Valkia trying to escape. Her melee defense does hold firm once again. Deathbringer activated, 871 weapon strength, and she gets absolutely slapped up and is going to be running off the battlefield. Very cool to see the Chad Bloodthirster doing well. But aside from that, Bob does manage to ninja the outside objective, so the Nurglings are able to get that. We do see Slaaneshi Cav on their way in, so it is going to be the Seekers diving into the backfield, and they're certainly back of the menu. These Seekers so far have gotten about 800 value, so nothing obscene, right? It seems like their damage mitigation, the changes to their hitboxes has been improved. So far, so good, but we'll be keeping an ever watchful eye. Bloodwake Berserker is not really carrying, basically just massacring everything in front of them. The Festering Stooges getting taken to Pound Town. And now the Demon's going to be trying to take Objective 2. They have a little bit of time to work with, and the Bloodthirster and the Plague Ridden's going to be on its way back over. They'll be very helpful against the Bloodwake Berserkers with a little bit of cycle charging, I would imagine. And here comes the old Seekers of Slaanesh. Charging into Skull Reapers. Skull Reapers are pretty awesome. They have already gotten about 900 value. A unit that is like the definition of niche, though, right? They're only really good in matchups against like demonic units, and where else could they be okay? Maybe against Skaven, but probably not. I mean, Skaven punish elite infantry very hard, and these things are not cheap. But against Skaven, you do have like Plague Monks and some physical resistance units, but factions that field a lot of Phys-Res units is where you would want Skull Reapers, basically. Do they have Vanguard deployment? I can't remember. I don't think they do. But Nurgling's going to get taken apart, and in the back we do see the Exalted Plague Bears being called in, a very grindy, durable unit here. Seekers and Heartseekers isolating the weaker elements on the battlefield, which are the Marauders. Meanwhile, Halberd's going to be trying to intercept them. The Demons of Chaos Player should definitely use the Chaos Furies of Khorne against Khorne Gors. They have low melee defense against, well, their Halberds, of course, fend off larger targets, but against infantry units, they won't kill them super quickly. Alright, so in the middle here, owned by the Demons of Chaos. Demons of Chaos are really in a position where they can't afford to lose objectives. We are going to be seeing Plague Bearers, and what other call-ins is there going to be? Big Greater Demons on their way out, Locus of Virulence, so very big stat line buff here for the Exalted Bloodthirster, as well as the Plague Ridden there. The Cavalry do try and come in, and the Demons of Chaos do actually barely stabilize it. So it's like they are able to fend off the Skull Reapers enough, so the capture weight of the Seekers is going to be enough to hold the objective. Over here, Nurgling's getting massacred. They're doing it, but Locus of Virulence going to be making those guys a little bit nastier, but the Bloodwake Berserkers, probably the best infantry unit in the game, honestly, is going to be able to chew through them no problemo. So is Bob going to be threatening the side objective? He's going to need to get some Nurglings over there. Khorne definitely has a good chance of getting the middle objective back. When they get Khorngors and Bloodwake Berserkers over there, that's going to be a big problem. Heartseekers do get chewed down, getting about 1,200 value so far. Here we do see the Exalted Bloodthirster with Deathbringer activated, going to be at 871 weapon strength, so it's doing good getting through these elite troopers. And now Nurgle's Chosen have arrived. Definitely want to save those Unholy Death's Head hand grenades for the Bloodwake Berserkers, because they actually will do a ton of damage against them, but using them against Skull Reapers is also good. And here you can see the Bloodthirster actually taking a lot of damage himself. Yeah, man, those Skull Reapers, despite being an anti-infantry unit, doing pretty well there. Although I think some of this is friendly fire. I think he's eating a lot of the grenades, so I want to get him back. Yeah, Bloodwake Berserkers on their way in. Eternal Entourage, pretty scary unit. Heartseekers of Slaanesh are going to be moving in. So that is the 1,400 gold cav unit. Going to be charging into the back of the Bloodwake. So 4,400 HP. Let's see what they're at. In theory, this unit should counter the Bloodwake Berserkers, or at least trade evenly with it. But we know how scary Bloodwake Berserkers are. So yeah, they lost about 2,000 HP instantly to the devastating charge of those units, and it looks like a big old Tzeentch army ability going to be going down from Bob. Objective number 2 here is going to be owned by Khorne, 1 owned by Khorne as well. Nurgling's being called in, and Khorne actually threatening the side objective as well. So Eternal Entourage did pretty good there, about 2,000 value, able to bring the Bloodwake Berserkers down 3,000 HP. If they hadn't been rear charged by those Furies and those Skull Reapers, definitely could have been doing very, very well for themselves and probably would have finished that off. Stream of Corruption from the Nurgle caster, a nice one right there. Tickles the entire Khorne army as a couple Nurglings do move in. Bloodthirster trying to put this game on his back, but I mean, it's getting harder and harder for him here. I don't know if he's going to be able to get it done. Up in the sky, getting the support of the Furies, so the Furies are going to be on their way in to try and win the Air Force fight, maybe provide a little bit of fire support. You could use the Bloodthirster and some Furies to go try and break those Khorngors really quickly and maybe steal the side objective, but you need some capture weight still, right? And the demons don't seem to have any capture weight here on the field. The Nurgle infantry are doing okay, but Bloodwake Berserkers are just such a hard counter against them, although there's only 6 of them left. Skull Reapers are performing very well, 1,800 value on them, and the other ones are going to be sitting at 1,000 value, which is a solid performance. Over here, Exalted Bloodthirster has activated Deathbringer and has once again taken down another Air Force unit. He does stabilize with 1 freaking leadership. Oh my god. Just barely hanging in there. And did he yield the outside objective? This would be a huge mistake to not deal with this. The Nurglings might get there in time. They're not quick, but they do have Vanguard deployment. Did he use a Vanguard point? The Vanguard point's a little bit closer, but yeah, not really so much on the sides. Although, yeah, he could have gone right here, would have been a little bit closer, but not the biggest mistake. We'll see if it ends up mattering here. Bloodthirster man is taken down by the Skull Reapers, and ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to be game over. I don't think there's any chances, and yeah, they knew it when I knew it. It was over. Really fun match. I love that, man. Getting to see the Bloodthirster take down Valkia, but struggle to deal with the Skull Reaper unit, a very off-meta you don't see. So both of these guys are absolute chads. Play really, really fun games. And 1,800 here, 1,200 here. You gotta love to see it, ladies and gentlemen. And Karanak got his butt kicked pretty hard, but, you know, they both took hard losses and managed to scrap pretty hard. Bob's build, the Exalted Plague Bearers are just kind of... They didn't get the job done. These ones got massacred. These ones, I think, were summoned twice and still only got 1,800 value, and the other ones got 13. They about paid for themselves. But yeah, it was a really fun match. I love seeing the Slaanesh Cav back. Like, you know, as much as we roast them and complain about them being OP in the past, I want unfair units to be played, right? You want them to be balanced correctly, and hopefully this is the right direction, and maybe they're fine now. Like, more testing is required, but they really did not seem overpowered at all here. In this game, so that is a really, really good sign. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to these 2 players. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. We'll see you on the other side.